So here we go then, is it? All right. Cheers. We're just going to give it a quick second, let the YouTube ad stop, and here we are. We got a live feed going. Okay, I haven't been as nervous to do anything as much as doing this today. I don't know what it is about it. It just feels a little uncomfortable for me. But I'm hoping that we're going to have a bunch of fun with it. Yeah, I guess I did make some notes today, which I thought we'd go through, basically to add a little bit of structure. I want you guys to be really honest, and if I'm just blabbering and just ADHD's taken over and this thing's got no direction, just hit the chat and be like, bring it back, son. This is a bit of a mess. So I'm going to keep checking in with the chat. So I figured what we'd do a bit of a why we're doing this, talk about some upcoming mountain bike events, talk about the Red Bull Serra Bio this coming weekend. We're going to talk about Darkfest. I also want to talk a little bit about AI, and then also a little bit of a discussion about broadcasts. So if you are here and you're watching, use the chat on YouTube. Tell me where you're listening, where you're watching. And then obviously each and every now and again, I'm going to hit the chat and see what's going on there. But as many questions as you guys can send would be extremely helpful. Because I don't know what it is about this. I remember when I got hurt a few years ago, and Olly said, you know what, I'm going to just do an episode on my own. And I was super nervous, I guess. I was like, dude, are you sure? You want to do an episode on your own? Okay, if you're really up for it, no problem, mate. Just, crack on. There's no issues on my side. Just do an episode. And he did it, and it was absolutely, it was amazing. I don't know if you guys remember it, but it's the one where Olly first mentioned I think it was a statue story. It was brilliant. Anyway, it was so good. And anyway, so the reason for doing this is, well, there's a few reasons. I kind of miss talking to you guys. I think we've had a super busy March at the podcast, but super busy in the way of not actually doing the show. We've got a lot going on behind the scenes. We are about to move into a brand new studio, which is super exciting. We've actually been told we can't really talk about it too much, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, we're moving into a brand new studio. Olly was in Madeira. I went on holiday for a week. Olly's now in Mexico, and it's just been super hard to pull episodes together. And I guess the dynamic of the show is obviously down south. So we got a studio down south, in the Surrey Hills, I guess, in, Hazelmere or wherever. And for me to go there and just record an episode is sometimes quite difficult. It's a 4-hour drive if we've not got a guest booked in, up until hopefully the start of 1st of April. We have to build up the studio, build up the set, take it down every time, and it's just so gnarly. So I've always been thinking, long-term goal, can I build a studio, or can we build another studio or something similar up north? So it's something that I can just go and drop into, or if we've got something else going on or whatever, we can just do something in the north. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to test this first. I think the way the podcast, the media is going, sometimes you do want to be a bit reactive, okay? Let's say something happens in the mountain bike world, there's a race, whatever. You want to be able to just jump on it and be like, boom, here's the thing, we've talked about it, we've done something, or just gone through the news or whatever, and just be a bit more reactive. And at the moment, it's really difficult. It's a 4-hour drive away. Then we are oftentimes 1 or 2 episodes ahead of ourselves, so we can't actually do quick, off the cuff, let's just talk about this thing episodes. So this could be, if it goes well, an option in the future. Bar, something's happened, boom, throw up a live, do an episode, talk about it, move on. So anyway, it's not going to be too structured, this. I mean, the usual vibe of the show is pretty casual, pretty chilled. Just going to hang out, talk about bikes, talk about some other things, and just hopefully have a little bit of fun. And I appreciate if you're listening or watching this. It is a beautiful evening in the UK, and I can't believe anyone here is here rather than being outside biking. So big up and thank you very much. I appreciate you. Quick listener question. I just want to make sure that we hit the chat stream on YouTube, so I can see a question straight away. M. Sandergaard, will you get the haircut at Darkfest? Right, I'm not going to Darkfest, but I did have a pretty weird experience with a haircut the other day. I've had the same hairdresser for about 10 years, and I need my haircut in pretty urgently. She wasn't available, this and that. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to go somewhere. So there's this one place I've seen in the local town that looks pretty cool, and I was like, that kind of looks like a bit of a vibe. Let me head down there, get my haircut. And I've not been in a barber shop for years. Walked in there, didn't know what to do. Do you book in? Do you say you're here? Do you not? Do you just sit here in this chair? Everyone around me staring at the phone. It just feels super awkward. Anyway, my turn comes around. I sit in the chair. The guy, who's a lovely fella, said, what do you want? And I'm like, mate, I have no idea. I haven't asked for a haircut in 10 years. I always just say, same as last time. So we had a bit of a laugh and a giggle. And I gave him a rough idea. I'm like, I like it really choppy. I don't really, rock hair very often. I mean, I have it on my head. I don't remove it. But, I wear a hat quite a bit. Asked me all these questions. When did you last have it cut? Blah, 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 blah. All good. Anyway, cuts my hair. Don't really think too much of it. We're having a chat. Pretty nice guy. Having a good chat. Like you do in the barbers. The one thing I actually hate about the barbers is small talk. But it was lovely. And we had a good chat. He's done. He shows me my hair. They do that thing where they put the mirror around the back, right? What do you reckon? And you're never going to say, I'm not right into it. But I did think, I was like, it's a bit crap. Didn't really think much of it. I get home, go upstairs where my partner Emma's working, take my hat off. She's like, why have you got a mullet? I said, what? She said, why have you got a mullet? Anyway, I looked in the mirror, and the dude's basically given me some kind of weird mullet haircut. I mean, it's the jankiest haircut ever. I'm probably not even going to show it on this stream because I'm that embarrassed. But you can see there's wings out the back still. And there it is. It's pretty tight and short up front. So that's me growing my hair out again for months on end. So I don't have to go to the hairdressers. Anyway, we digress. Again, please use the chat function, drop some questions. First thing I want to make sure that we talk about, though, on this episode, where's Olly? Where is Olly? A great title for a podcast. Where is Olly? Olly is currently in Turkey. He's getting calf extensions. Okay, crap joke. He's not. Olly is in Mexico. He's at the Red Bull Guanajuato. I think that's how you say it. Guanajuato? Anyway, Serra Abayo, which is the final stop of the 2025 Red Bull Serra Abayo series. Serra Abayo obviously standing for street race. Okay, so the Serra Abayo series brings the top urban downhill riders to the heart of Guanajuato. I hope I'm saying that right. Mexico. Anyway, steep alleyways, underground tunnels, and colonial architecture. The UNESCO World Heritage City sets the stage for a high-speed showdown where the series champion will be crowned. So anyway, I'm sure if you're watching the stream, you know a little bit about Serra Abayo. We've done loads of episodes about it over the years. I'm super stoked to sit down with Olly when he gets back to talk about it. The build's going off at the moment. Anyway, I dropped Olly a message and I said, hey man, give me some insights. Talk to me about the track. What have you changed? What isn't changing? What has changed? And this is what Olly had to say. Now, wouldn't it be good if we could drop a voice note in? It would, but we're not gonna. So this is what Olly had to say. Okay, so from top to bottom, the Guanajuato track hasn't changed its general course, but there are some giant changes. Okay, Straight out the gate, we've opened up the first straight to even more speed than before. The first berm is a slingshot into the death uneven steps before an 8 metre long, 4 metre down road gap with horrific steps on the landing too. Riders will head around a 90-degree wall ride, turn back into Gary's drop, which has grown from last year with a diving board takeoff. I don't know if anyone's seen that on Olly's social media, but diving board takeoff, I believe, basically means it comes out and drops, and then you hop off it. So pretty wild. Will anyone pre-jump straight off the flat? Adrian has called a wheelie off the board. Adrian, I guess he means Adrian Laron. So that's a bit of a rumour out there at the moment. Same through those colourful steps and through the Ford container drop. Then I think there's a chicane before the wall ride section, which consists of a speed setting jump into the giant wall ride. Frida's drop is now totally off the roof. Now I saw that as well on Olly's Instagram. Before it used to come out the window, whereas now it's coming off the roof at the side, kind of like off a fire escape. It's a gnarly feature to ride and requires real speed change. I think riders will be pre-hopping off it or scrubbing. It's actually mad. You accelerate so fucking fast as soon as you land. Going to be really cool to see how racers deal with it, whether they go long or pre-hop off the roof. Either way, it'll be mental. The rest is the same as last year. Maybe we'll make more jumps. Maybe we'll make the bottom jumps bigger than before. I'll let you know after we've got them in place. Okay, so I guess if you're going to need a little bit of race knowledge coming into this event, which I think is pretty cool, it's one thing I want to use doing these lives for, it's a bit of prep. So Thomas Slavic won Red Bull Serra Abayo Valparaiso, which was just a few weeks ago. If you watch that race, you'll know that Sebastian Holguin is aiming to get a gearbox bike on the podium because he represents the MS0 team. Felipe Aguato was just 2.0 back, and at 1.1 for Valles was 1.8 seconds up on Slavic, but slid out on a dusty corner. So I was thinking about it a little bit about street racing, and I went on a little dog walk earlier, and I just made some notes of like and I'd love for you guys to use the chat function or the comment section or whatever on this. Why is street racing becoming more and more popular? Okay, relatively simple question, but here's a few things that I think. Visual chaos. Okay, urban downhill, it's super visual. The stairs, rooftops, tight alleyways, and sketchy drops. It's like way more relatable than watching someone like rip through a forest, I think, unless you're a core mountain biker. And this is what I mean by why is it growing in popularity? I think it's because of this exact reason. People know what stairs and cobbled streets feel like. I remember Olly saying that a while ago on a podcast that, you know, the general spectator sees a curb, whatever, and is just like, I know what that would feel like if I hit it going that fast. And it's super relatable to people. So when someone goes super fast, it hits harder. I mean, they crash harder, I guess. And also it just, I don't know, I guess you just get a better sense of feeling of it, being a general fan. It's also, my other point was it's social media gold, all right? The races are basically made for viral clips. I guess it's like Slap League, is it called? I think it's called Slap League, which is basically a sport that's invented for TikTok. I know this one isn't, but it kind of feels that way. It's just like obvious viral clips, you know? You get someone ripping through some steps, jumping through a window. All this stuff is basically TikTok viral content. And even people who aren't into mountain biking see it and they're probably just like, whoa, that's pretty cool. Anyway, I guess it is bringing mountain biking to the masses through these other channels. Instead of people having to, and also I guess for people to go and spectate. So I guess instead of having to, I don't know, travel so far into the mountains. I mean, Fort William is a great example for the UK. Yeah, the track's sick. We're obviously going to miss it on the live, in the series, the UCI Downhill World Cup. But it's so far for most people. There's not many people who live close to it. Whereas with this, you know, it's in a city. You've got public transport to it super easy. And it just brings a spectacle to a city. And I think that's one reason as well that it's just bringing mountain biking to the masses. So rather than mountain biking being like a super niche outdoor sport, it's like a I don't know, it's like a block party or something with all the world-class athletes there. And I think also, let's make sure we hit this. At the moment, you also get Rob Warner commentary. And I really think that's something that we all want. So, you watch a street race, you get those old school vibes from, the Red Bull broadcast days. And I think, that actually does add a lot to it, having Rob and Elliot there at the events. So anyway, I thought it probably a good idea to mention you can watch all the action on Red Bull TV this coming Sunday, which is the 29th of March. It's a live stream, sorry, probably better than this one. It's scheduled for 8:45 p.m. in the UK, but if you go to the Red Bull Bike website, you can find when it'll stream anywhere else in the world. So that's the first thing. Has anyone got any comments before we move on to my next subject? This is a little bit more structured than I like, but I think it's good because otherwise I'm going to go on weird tangents. But yeah, I see that Lucy B in our YouTube chat is obviously saying that loads of people by non-biking friends send clips and are like, oh, have you seen this? I actually had a chat yesterday with a YouTube person, like a YouTube strategist, and she straight away knew all about Red Bull Rampage, isn't interested in bikes, has no clue about it, isn't a fan of the sport, doesn't know anyone's names, but did know about Red Bull Rampage. So I think, it's pretty cool. Okay, up next, Darkfest. Not far away. Darkfest is coming, folks, and this is a good one to talk about, I think, because if you're in the TRC media ride companion universe, you're going to be watching Olly's vlog, so you're seeing all about Mexico, and then you're probably going to be keeping your eye on Sam Reynolds' vlogs as well with this build of Darkfest. Personally, it's one of my favourite events of the year. It's pretty much ticks all the boxes that I enjoy about biking. It's just a good vibe, tricks, big jumps, it ticks all the stuff. So it's the 10th anniversary of the event. We did do an episode with Sam not that long ago when he unveiled his new bike. But it's 10th anniversary of the event. It takes place on April the 7th to the 12th. And of course, you'll be able to watch it, I guess, through YouTube, through vlogs. Would it be cool if it was live streamed every day? Yeah, it probably would. But unfortunately, that isn't really the business model. And it's just a highlights video at the end. But there is loads of craziness. You get vlogs from all of the athletes that are going to be there coming out. It's going to be sick. Someone just said, all this craziness really makes me want to get my foot. Eduardo! We've got someone in the chat who doesn't own a bike. Okay. Eduardo, buy a bike. Come on, dude. Get on board. So the vlogs are unreal on Sam Reynolds' channel. As of right now, recording this, there are 3. The last one being the first hits of the new Step Up. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the vlogs that Sam is doing have just leveled up. And I watched the first one today, actually. I thought I'd watch all 3. And I was like, wow, this looks amazing. It looks really good. It doesn't feel like a vlog. It feels really well produced. So just a big shout out to, I believe it's CA, who's Sam's filmer, but something's happened, and I think that something could also be, maybe, you might have noticed that GoPro aren't one of the event partners. I think Darkfest has been one of GoPro's biggest as far as viewership and views of clips. I think it's one of the biggest things that they do. But the bike industry strikes again, and GoPro are not a partner. Insta360 are a partner though. And again, I've seen a load of clips and I just noticed in the bottom corner, Insta360. And no shade on GoPro, obviously. We're going to be working with GoPro soon. But I think it's just worth mentioning that maybe some of the different dynamics, the different shots and stuff are probably coming from just a different angle and just having Insta360 on board. Of course, if you watched any of the vlogs, you will know that they have built a whopping great big quarter pipe designed by Clemens Cladella. And it's situated at the bottom, near the bottom of the course where the step up is. And they've built dirt on, well, they haven't built dirt on both sides as of the video I watched. It was only on the left-hand side, which is perfect for me because I hip to the left. But yeah, so there isn't a hip on the right or a landing on the right, but I think they are going to make it go either way. Sam mentioned on a video as well, just a passing comment that I noticed about the potential of a world record height out of a quarter pipe. Now, I don't know what that is. If anyone's in the chat who wants to have a quick look, that would be kind of cool. What is the current world record for the biggest air out of a quarter pipe on a mountain bike? Not a BMX, because I've no clue what that is, and it's probably absolutely unbelievably high. But I dare say these Darkfest guys could have a crack at it. So yeah, that's a few of the things I've noticed. Like I said, there's only 3 videos out. I did drop Sam a message earlier, try and get some insights, but no doubt he is like gnarly busy. So you've not heard anything back. I will look at my phone in a bit and see if he's replied, and maybe there's a few insights there. But as of right now, we just got 3 vlogs to sink our teeth into, which I think is cool. Like, I'm a massive fan of it. I don't know if you guys agree, but the build-up of these events is almost as good as the actual events themselves. The highlight video is kind of like really well produced and beautifully shot, but the vlogs, for me, it just gives you that insight, especially when it comes to testing big jumps and stuff. Okay, Adrian Wilkinson on YouTube chat has got an insight. Quarter pipe to the left, then shark fin across the step up running, then onto the drop to the moon booties. Mate, thank you for clarifying that. I thought they were building a landing on both sides, so yeah. Big up. Thank you, Adrian. Riders to watch this year. Okay, of course, Sam Reynolds. Injured last year, so didn't compete. He broke his ankle. Clemens Cadella, the OG Matt McDuff. Vera Sandler, Weber Beek, Bienve, Aguado, Teo Erlingsson, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, guest of the year. No, he wasn't. Warner was. He should have been. No, he shouldn't. It was close. It was a tie. Cade Edwards is out there. Nikolai Rogatkin, Matt Jones. I mean, the list is just unreal. I don't know how many riders that is in total. It's probably like 20, 25. All absolute rippers. Brendan Fairclough's out there too. Robin Gooms, Chaos Seagrave. It's going off. I also noticed, and you guys might remember from a recent episode, Tom Eisted is missing from Darkfest 2025. He already booked a family holiday. No doubt that sucks for Tom, but because they've moved the dates around a little bit, I think this year. Last year it was super early. I believe it was in February last year. Anyway, this year it's back to its kind of original time of April. I believe Dan Paley is headed back to Darkfest. I don't know if I've got that wrong. I can't see his name now on the list, but I'm pretty sure Dan Paley is back at Darkfest for 2025. Last year, had that huge injury. He did the world's biggest whip. I think it's the biggest whip that's ever been done on a bike. Unfortunately, it didn't quite come back, and he snapped his fibula, I think. What did he do? I'm sure I made a note. Yeah, fracture of the tib and fib, a broken radius, and a broken finger. But yeah, it was a massive whip. I'm not sure if it was worth it because it was in a cage for a while, but still, massive whip. It's pretty sick. Carson Storch also had a big one last year. There was that sort of jump where Eisted bailed, and I think Carson bailed after him as well. I can't quite remember how it went down. But yeah, there was that as well. So, riders to watch out for. They were the riders. Oh no, riders to watch out for. Sorry, newbies. We've got Lucy Van Eesteren. Okay, I'm sorry, Lucy, if you listen to the podcast. Van Eesteren, but it's got an M on the end. Interesting. Lucy. Thomas Lemoyne, first time at Darkfest. Dylan Lamb, and of course, Alessio Tonoli, aka Cornflakes Future, on Instagram, and he's the one that Sam Reynolds was like, keep an eye on this kid. He's going to go off. So yeah, super stoked. Can't wait for Darkfest 2025. Use the chat function. Who do you think is going to have the wildest tricks of Darkfest 2025? Okay, I got this sneaking suspicion. Look, I might be off. But it was Bienve and Tom Eisted trying to break the world record for the backflip, right? A couple of years ago. Not last year, the year before. Do we live in a world where BMW is thinking, whoa, Tom's not out here, I might have another go at this on the 120 or 110, whatever it was it 110? But he ended up doing a 120-foot backflip. I don't know. I'm just throwing out some speculation there. I know freeride isn't competitive like that. They're all for each other and trying to help each other out and stuff. But if there's an opportunity there to grab a world record and push the envelope a little bit, then I don't know. Why not? Why not have a go? Okay, let me have a sip of this lovely cup of tea. It's actually not lovely. It's freezing cold. So this is kind of like a regular episode of the show. So we're going to do a quick sponsor read. Now, normally these sponsor reads do take a little bit of time. We've got a producer, we've got different cameras, we've got all kind of stuff going on. But this is going to be an actual from the heart, slightly bit of a script, something to work from, ad read. So this episode of The Ride Companion is once again brought to you by our friends at Huel. If you're anything like me, like you're constantly running around, you're getting late for things, I'm really trying to hit some nutritional points at the moment. So I'm trying to get to 3,600 calories a day. And just having one of these just to hit the protein goal is really helpful. I actually buy these, genuinely. No, working with a brand like Huel, you'd think we get loads of free stuff. They sent 4 bottles ever, and I actually go out and buy Huel these days. And I didn't before we worked with them and before I tried it. So I had a banana one earlier, that's empty. And this is my favourite flavour, the strawberries and cream. Of course, Huel is the world's #1 complete nutrition brand with over 400 meals sold worldwide. 400 million, that's so many. It's trusted by people just like me and you to fuel their days with convenient, complete nutrition. Quick, easy, and it actually is delicious. I'm going to crack one now because that's the kind of stuff we do. They have, I mean, what is this lid thing about? Just like, what is this? It's I don't want to be that guy, but it is daft. It doesn't seem to work. End up with like stuff down you all the time. Anyway, you can try Huel for yourself by using our discount code. You can get 15% off. You can even get like a taster pack. You can try all the different flavors. The black edition ones are really nice as well. So my, again, personal favorite is this one, strawberries and cream. So rattling through this. So if you get hungry, you want an easy way to take your nutritional needs, support the show and get 15% off your products with the code RIDE at Huel.com. That's RIDE at Huel.com. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters. Biking. Okay, him on. We'll say it like that for the sake of recycling. No, mate, I get it. I understand recycling the environment. I do get it. But, you know, personally, I always used to take the lid off and then I'd just literally put it back on if I put it in the bin. I do get it. It's just kind of clunky in it, let's be honest. Cheers. This is going all right, isn't it? It's going okay. I was so nervous about doing this before. I was like, how on earth am I going to just sit in this room, which isn't really decorated properly, and talk to myself? But I think we're making it work. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Are we making it work? Is it going okay? I don't know. Right. Next thing I wanted to talk about, what we got. I want to talk about, this is something that I'd bring up on the podcast if I was sat with Ollie. So I want to talk about AI. And I think, I guess I have a bit of a confession to make. Now, AI, ChatGPT specifically, I'm going to talk about. We did put a clip up a while ago talking about, is AI ruining creativity in our sport or the world? And I thought it was super interesting, and it actually made me think about it loads more. So I guess I've got a bit of a confession. As someone who makes content, I think when ChatGPT first came out, I was pretty into it kind of. I didn't really know how to use it. In fact, no, I'm lying. At first, I was like, nah, I'm not getting involved with this. I like using my brain and doing what I do, and I'll use that maybe in the future as a bit of a sort of way to, I don't know, get clearer on ideas and stuff. Now, I thought it was interesting because I'll just sort of explain our workflow, okay? So our workflow, normally, this is a normal week. I go down to Surrey, we record the episode on Monday, and then that episode will come out on Wednesday. The one that we record on Tuesday that week will come out the following Wednesday, and then we rinse and repeat that if we can. Sometimes we end up in front, sometimes obviously we end up behind. There's been many instances where we've done an episode Tuesday evening and we've still managed to get the episode out on Wednesday, and it's so much work. Our producers absolutely kill it, but we do manage to make it work. And maybe sometimes that is because of AI. So again, I want to talk about ChatGPT. We do use AI in the studio, which does a lot of editing for us. You've probably seen it where you can get AI to change camera angles according to a voice track, an audio track. So it'll pick up who's talking and then do the camera switches. There are different ways of doing it, but for us, that's the one that we found is quickest, most efficient, and it actually works pretty good. Our producer, Doug, will watch the episode back, make sure it's all in the right place. Maybe there's a reaction or something like that we've missed, and he'll adjust it. But for the most part, that has sped up our production. I used to sit and do the camera angles myself, even when we did virtual, and I really wanted to be full screen to who's talking, and then change to who was talking next back to full screen. And honestly, it was a nightmare. I mean, I'd edit these videos for 4 hours more, just going back, change, and then you put it up and it'd be okay. So anyway, so that's one way that we use AI in the studio for our production. Now, my side of what we do, so I'll leave Surrey usually on a Tuesday evening. I come home, and then that Tuesday evening, I'll usually work through the night to get the following day's episode up, described, up on YouTube, tagged, not edited as such, but obviously just go through it again just to make sure everything's good. If there is any changes that I need making, I'll make them and re-export it. And then I guess the bit that is really time consuming, and the bit that I used to kind of enjoy doing, was listening back, time stamping, which means that you go through and you obviously assign, okay, this is what we talked about at this point. So here's a timestamp, whether it's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, we talked about disc golf, whatever it is. So you go through and do that. Obviously that's time consuming. It takes as long as the episode is, plus usually about another 30 minutes on top of that for stopping, thinking, writing the thing, going back, you might have to change something. So if we've got a 2-hour episode, that's going to take me a couple of hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. Once I have that timestamp, I will then write a description about the episode from the timestamps. Usually while I'm doing timestamping, I'm making notes. Okay, that's a thing that we need to make sure that we put in the description, this, that, and the other. And it is something that I don't mind doing. It is kind of tedious. It's quite laborious. You then obviously go through the timestamp, you write a description, put all the tags in on YouTube, and then you usually will set it to go, schedule it to go live the following day on Wednesday or instantly, however we're doing it. I then do the same thing for audio, but I don't do it again. Obviously, I just use what I've already done, but then copy it over to the podcast audio hosting platform. So the confession that I think I want to make is I found a little workaround a while ago where you can basically take the transcription of the YouTube episode, the podcast, so the whole transcription, everything that's discussed, copy it, paste it into ChatGPT, and it will then create a description and it'll roughly timestamp. I'd never use the timestamps. They seem to be all over the place. I don't understand how it could do that. It doesn't know the cadence, doesn't know the length of the episode, I don't think. So I don't use the timestamps. But I do use I do use it. I always change it, but I do use that, description that it's written. And usually it's pretty good. It's like, yeah, that's all right. That'll do. It passes. It kind of feels okay. But that's the thing that I'm kind of thinking about a lot at the moment. It feels okay. It doesn't feel like me. It doesn't feel like a machine or a robot, but it feels off. And I think when we've been really busy, I've been spending probably a little bit too much time on that. Just been like, okay, copy, transcribe, here's the description, pop that in. And I think what I realised the other day, I can't remember what episode it was, but I just kind of came away from doing that side of the work. And I guess I'll expand on that a little bit. I'd used it for the description, then I'd also prompted ChatGPT to find the most viral worthy or most interesting sections from the show. And again, it gave me this list. And I remember looking at it and being like, oh, that's what used to take me so long, but it just feels weird. It feels like I've cheated. And it leaves me, as someone who is, I'd say, relatively creative, it leaves me feeling cheap and like something just feels off. I'll also then, again, confession number 2. Let's say I found a point in an episode. We'll use Tani Seagrave's episode for an example about, where she discussed about the speed suit. In my head, we're recording it. I'm like, oh, clip, that's going to be amazing. That's going to do good on YouTube. People are going to enjoy that clip. It's going to make a great social clip, etc. And then I remember doing the Tani episode with ChatGPT and stuff, and then it pointed that out. And I was like, yeah, of course it is. That's a great viral clip. It's going to do well, etc., etc., etc. And then I made the clip, uploaded the clip to YouTube, and then I used the transcript to help me create a description. And again, it just wasn't it. There's something about it that I can't quite put my finger on, that it's not quite my/our language. And like you come away from it as a creative person, the only bit of creativity I've used is how creative can I be with what I'm asking this machine to do for me. And I just had a moment of, this is stupid. I'm not doing this anymore like this. So I've had a whole week this week, we're on Wednesday today, of trying not to use ChatGPT. And it's been really difficult. I think it is good for some things. I have used it every now and again to just help get clearer on an idea, or you want to research something real quick, and it has got its things, but there is some feeling that it gives me, not everybody, that feels off. It doesn't feel right. It feels like you've cheated. And I want this thing, the podcast, the stuff we do, to feel authentic. And I think that is the issue. It doesn't feel authentic. It feels as if something else has helped and something else has done it for you. I want it to feel raw. I want it to feel human. I like that it's imperfect. This is something that I actually spoke with about the person that I had a chat with last night, who is a YouTube strategist, about doing this, basically, about doing a live episode. And basically, I said to her, like, I really overthink the production side of it now. I think we've come up to a level which is really high, especially in the bike industry and action sports industry. We're at a level with the podcast. We've got multiple cameras, studios set up. We're bringing guests in. It is a lot, and I want to maintain that level all the time. And I think I've been really put off by doing stuff like this, because I'm like, nah, it's not it. It's not the production that it requires or that it deserves. And I think after the chat yesterday, she was very much like, nah, just don't worry about it. Just be a bit more reactive, be a bit more raw, a bit more imperfect. And I think that's where, again, it's been really playing on my mind, that using ChatGPT and stuff like that makes things not feel raw and imperfect. And I think there is an element with all creativity, whether it's video or whatever it is you're doing, of trusting your gut and going with what you think is right, not necessarily what a robot is telling you is right, because I don't know, where's it getting the information from as well? Obviously, it's stealing it off people, right? And I know sometimes it is good. You can be, so you can sort of plug into it. Would this title work best for this video, or would this title work best for this video? And it will help. It is helpful. It's a very helpful tool. It's like having an expert, obviously, with you all the time. But I need to use it less. I think it's not fulfilling for me. I do all this work. I come away from it being like, felt okay. Doesn't feel like me. Feel like I've cheated. And that's not nice as a creative, because It's kind of, for me, it's what I thrive on. I thrive on using my brain and coming up with ideas and writing descriptions and all that sort of stuff. I think it's a very big element of what we do. So yeah, that's. I just wanted to get that off my brain, and I think if Ollie was around and we were sat in studio, we'd have probably just had that. Hopefully, that exact conversation. I know Ollie is really not into it. I don't think he's probably ever been on ChatGPT in his life, and I think for me that is the sign of a true creative, someone who really is willing to just do what feels right rather than just what's a robot is telling you. So I'd be interested to know quickly, just while I have another slip on the heel, do you guys use ChatGPT AI? What do you use it for? I'd be really interested to know. So if you use the chat feature real quick, if there's anyone still here, I don't know, I can't see. I can't believe we've been going for 40 minutes. Oh my God, I was trying to keep this to an hour, so we're going to try and keep it to an hour. Okay. Yeah, let me know in the comments if you use ChatGPT. Let's have a bit of a discussion. That'd be super good. Okay, we've got to do one more ad read. This is the last ad read of the episode. You'll be maybe pleased to know, but we do have to do these things. And I think actually going to go on a bit of a tangent. One of the reasons for doing this is also we have sponsors on the podcast. It's nothing new. We've had sponsors for a long time, but certain sponsors we work with, we are part of a bigger campaign. So, for example, Huel is a great example. So Huel comes to us through an agent actually and says, "Hey, we want to book 4 episodes of The Ride Companion, but we need this date, this date, this date, and this date." That isn't them just coming up with random dates. That is part of a wider sales push, right? So they're going to try all these different podcasts, creators, vlogs, blogs, I don't know, all the other stuff. And we are part of that campaign. So when we, like recently, unfortunately, have struggled to have an episode, that does affect them. But I guess the worst part of that, especially for me who manages all that stuff, with somebody called Gareth now, but anyway, by the way, is you then have to go to Huel, be like, "Oh, we're really sorry, we're not going to have an episode this week. Can we move this forward?" And then usually what you'll have to do is something called an MG, a make good. So they'll be like, "Yeah, cool, do the episode next week, make sure we're on that one, and then we'll request a free one as well after that." So one of the reasons for being able to do this, to able to throw these things up, do a live. I'm enjoying your raw and imperfect haircut. Not bad. That's actually his Instagram, YouTube. What's it called? Username. I'm not just saying not bad. So yeah, there we go. So that's also a bit of an insight, I guess, as to why doing this. It's not just for the sponsors. Obviously, it's a part of it, but it also feels like I've not engaged with the companionship and the people that I actually talk to, and you know, I think it's important to do this sort of stuff. So anyway, next ad read, I'm going to blast through it real quick, is for OneSkin. All right, it's for OneSkin, folks. It is for OneSkin. And honestly, I'm going to try and speak from the heart. I'm sick of looking like shit, right? Every now and again, I go in the bathroom, especially in our bathroom downstairs. We got one of those mirrors, right? One of those mirrors that you put the light on and it shows you your real face with like actual lighting, and you just think, fuck it now. My face is like falling off. Like, this is not cool anymore. And honestly, I am one of those guys that's a bit, you know, whatever. It is what it is. Father Time's always going to win. You're going to sag. You're going to get some wrinkles. It's part of it. But if you can slow it down and maybe feel a little bit better about yourself, I'm kind of enjoying this process. We have had a few skincare brands in the last few years, and then genuinely, I do enjoy using OneSkin. So as you can see, I actually have the stuff, right? So I'm not just talking crap. I actually have it. This is actually mine from my bathroom. I mean, it's easy to use, obviously. So let me tell you a little bit about OneSkin. Okay, so OneSkin. As the seasons change, so do your skin's needs. Shifting the weather can leave your skin feeling irritated, tight and dry, especially if you have sensitive skin or conditions like eczema. But what if your skincare routine could help you calm your skin and reverse the signs of cellular aging at the same time? Enter OneSkin. OneSkin. Founded by 4 PhD level researchers, all women, OneSkin is the only company with the OS01 peptide, the first ingredient scientifically proven to reduce the dysfunctional senescent cells, aka zombie cells, that build up as you age and make you more sensitive to those seasonal symptoms like tight skin, dry skin. Their products are free from more than 1,500 common irritants and backed by countless lab and clinical studies, which you can view over on their website. So this one is it's called OS1 Face. It's a daily skin longevity treatment with the OS1 senescence blocking peptide, which is trademarked, which means it's very good. Scientifically proven to target a root cause of skin aging to promote healthy, youthful skin on the face and neck. Look, I do it simple. It's a couple of them like that. Look on the finger, and just rub her in. And I tell you what, I never expected to be doing a live episode and putting skin cream on, but there you go, and that's the sort of world we live in. Next up is the OS01I. It's a targeted skin longevity treatment with the highest concentration of OS01 peptides, scientifically proven to support the ultra delicate skin around the eyes. Now, honestly, sometimes I do a look in the mirror and I'm like, my eyes are black, I'm not sleeping, I look like actual death. Okay, and I want to look more Ashton Hall, and that's one thing that Ashton Hall is probably missing from his morning routine, is this OS1 by OneSkin. So again, this one's super easy. All right, it's a little bit of that look on the finger, and then I just pop under your eye, and that's it, and that's that. And chances are you're going to look a little bit younger, right? You're going to look better, you're going to feel better, and that's ultimately more important than looking better, feeling better. So OneSkin believes the purpose of skincare is not just to improve how you look, but to optimize your skin's biology at the cellular level so it's more resilient to the aging process. Get 15% off with code. Oh, I didn't write the code down. The Ride Companion at oneskin.co. That's 15% off OneSkin with code The Ride Companion. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the show and tell them we sent you. Invest in the health and longevity of your skin with OneSkin. Your future self and the mirror, very important, will thank you. So yeah, big up OneSkin. These companies genuinely do help keep the lights on. Thank you. All right. I'm going to come back to the chat thing in a minute as well. Let's see if there's any good questions in there. Lastly, okay, the last topic I've got that I actually want to talk about, I think, let me check some notes. Yes. Is the current state of, I feel like we're beating a drum here, like we're beating a dead horse, but I think you can't do one of these things without talking about it, especially as the downhill season is approaching. All right, it's, what is it, mid-May? We got the first round in Poland, Bieszczebalo. So I'd be interested to know from you people watching and listening, okay? We're what, 50 days away? Something like that from the first round. Will you be paying to watch downhill? Will you be paying? It's a simple question. Let us know in the chat right now. Let's do a quick tally up. So will you be paying? Use the chat function right now. And if you're not, on the chat function, use the comment section or shoot us a comment on Spotify, which you can do now, which is really good and really helpful. So, will you be paying for downhill? Super good question. Okay, I thought I'd give a bit of a timeline as to how things have changed. I made a few notes earlier. So here we go. 1990s to the early 2000s was, in my opinion, the underground era. Okay, races were hard to find. You had to be in the know kind of thing. You could get bike videos and DVDs like Sprung, Earth, Chain Spotting. The list is kind of long, but they're the ones that really stick out in my mind. You get like the odd thing on Eurosport, or you might see it on Channel 5, a bit of downhill on Transworld Sport. That was Channel 4, but you know what I mean? Like it was pretty hard to find, but there we are. You also got a lot of your results, photos, content from magazines like MBUK, Dirt. That was just those two for me, I'll be honest. Okay, so there was like the first, I guess, the underground era. We then moved into the Freecaster revolution in the mid-2000s. So freecaster.tv brought live streams online, all right? It wasn't polished. It really wasn't polished. It was kind of like this, but it was super passionate, okay? We used to go, there was a bike shop in Sheffield, which I believe was called the Bike Tree, and they had a big TV on the wall, and on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon, you go out for a ride. Don't really know what sort of riding it was back then. It'll be like riding a bit of downhill, or probably for me, riding dirt jumps. And you'd then go to this bike shop, they'd have the World Cup on, you'd have a beer, bit of food, and it was so good. It was so good. Warner's going off in the commentary box. He's probably pissed up. He's got Pagey there. I mean, the Freecaster days, let's be honest, were some of the best, all right? If you didn't see it, you really missed out on a massive, massive part of our sport. I lost the word for it then. That really annoyed me, but it was just such a defining era for downhill. It was so fun. I guess then we moved into the Red Bull TV era. Okay, 2012, Red Bull picks up the Downhill World Cup. Slicker coverage, I guess, throughout their coverage. You got drones, slow-mos, course previews. It was easy to access globally. You just went on Red Bull Bike website. Anyone could watch it. Anyone could find it. It was sick. It was, you got Warner, and it was just, again, it was free. The sport for me felt mainstream, but still core at the same time. Anyone could watch it, but it still felt core. So that's the Red Bull era. In 2023, we have the Warner Brothers Discovery takeover. Okay, Warner's gone. Gone. Can't whistle. Gone. Paywall. I think 2023 was the first one. Did you get qualies on YouTube? Junior's definitely on YouTube. Paywall's in. First year it's on Discovery, was it? Discovery Plus, so $6.99. The format's changed. You got this semi-final thing going on. I think it probably left a lot of people a little bit confused, a little bit worried about the direction of the sport. Let's just be honest. It felt corporate, and we felt less connected to the sport. This is my opinion. Please use the chat function if you disagree. Let's go. Let's talk about it. So that was 2023. I think let's just talk real. Like, wherever you went on the internet, whenever you saw downhill footage, the comment sections were not good. People were, fans of the sport were angry. They wanted change. They wanted it back to how it was. And again, I'm going to try and play a bit of devil's advocate here, but the people that took over the sport, they seem to know what they're doing. They're a big company. You'd like to think that they've got the best intentions for the sport, and I think, given talking to a few riders we've had on recently, Tani, who's a Red Bull athlete, Reese, they seem to be quite positive about the changes and think that it is going to go in the right direction. We're just having some teething problems. But anyway, let's fast forward to 2025. I feel like we're probably at a bit of a crossroads. Can Warner Brothers Discovery get people back involved, get the fans reconnected? It seems, okay, I've got a few notes here as well. So Warner Brothers Discovery in 2025 shifted its sports coverage from Eurosport to TNT Sports, leading to an increased subscription cost of up to £31 a month. Okay, so what are your options right now as a viewer in the UK? I'm going to just use the UK and Ireland just because that's the majority of our audience. I understand that the podcast goes out to 100 and odd countries, but let's just talk about the UK and Ireland if that's okay. I appreciate there's a lot of complexity, especially in some of the other countries like Australia and Canada, where it's proving really difficult to view. So in the UK, you basically have to pay £31, okay? And that would equate to, if you wanted to watch every race from the start of the series, the XC start of the series, which is actually in April, to the season finale, which is in Mont Saint Anne, it'll cost you £216.93p. So that's for the 7 months of racing. The announced changes mark a cost increase over the 2024 season, as a Discovery Plus viewer on the standard $6.99 plan would have paid £48.93. To watch the live action, a World Cup viewer in the UK or Ireland will see a cost increase of over 4 times the amount paid in 2024. So let me just go on the chat function and see what people are saying, and we'll go from there. Okay, Dave is the MTB media version of QVC. Thank you, mate. So yeah, a few people saying that they're willing to go to a few races. Sport just isn't big enough to be behind a paywall, is from Jake. I think with the podcast and even with this, I really, really, really try to just be in the middle. I really try. Will I pay for the races? Probably, to be honest, because I do love the sport. We talk about it. I kind of have to know what's going on. I didn't watch all the races last year, to be honest, because again, we had nice weather. You're like, I couldn't watch it, or I could just go outside, which adds a level of complexity because even if you want to watch it on replay, you've still got to pay the £31, which is whatever. It's fine. That's kind of how streaming works. But for me, oftentimes if it's watching or doing, I'm always going to choose doing. I'd rather be out riding or doing whatever it is that I'm doing that day than just sat inside watching the sport. Okay, so I'm going to read Lucy's question or comment here on YouTube as well. I've come to the sport fairly recently compared to a lot of you, and although it makes it less accessible to some, it would be nice if riders actually got paid properly. Great point. Kind of perfect transition, Lucy, so thank you. Lovely segue. I was looking today into prize money. And the prize money hasn't changed since 2017 or potentially 2018. It's one or the other. So to win a World Cup downhill race in 2025, if you actually win, you're the overall winner, you will earn £3,750, which £3,750 is a lot of money. But given the fact that the sport is on TNT, it's owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, it seems a bit crap. It's a bit short. If you finish second, you're going to earn £2,100. But this is the one that really stood out to me. If you finish 10th, you are 10th in the world at something. You are the 1% of the 1%. You are 10th in the world at a sport that weekend. You will earn yourself a whopping €200. Now that just feels wrong on all levels. I'm sorry, but that just feels super wrong on all levels. If you win the junior category, you are the fastest junior in the world that weekend, you will earn €200. If you're 10th, okay, you're 10th in the world, top 10 in the world, junior racer, the future of our sport, will earn you a whopping €20. I mean, it just feels like a bit of an insult, and I think that is probably where so many people are quite confused. So it's £31 to watch it, but that, I know you're not paying £31 just for mountain biking. You do get all these other sports, I guess. I don't know what you get, UFC, football, whatever. But there must be some sort of way of compensating the athletes. The athletes are the sport. The teams are the sport. The people there are the sport. And if they're not sort of, obviously they get salary off sponsors and teams and whatnot. I understand. But if they're not motivated to go there and do that, imagine being a junior trying to make it. Imagine being a junior. You've got so far. You've travelled the world. You've got yourself from Sheffield in the UK to Mont St Anne. You finish 10th and you get €20. Or even if you're in elite and you get 200. Like, what are we doing? That's obscene. And I think there was a bit of a petition last year, I believe it was, from the XC. I did make some notes, but maybe I didn't. I believe the XC guys did sort of campaign to get the prize money raised up. They wanted it to go up to €10,000, which I think is very fair. So yeah, insert Jake on YouTube. Insert Brendan's clip comparing DH to Supercross. If you look at the Supercross stuff, again, I've grown up comparing the two, and I think I don't want to be too biased or too whatever the words are. I don't want to be too like, oh, it's the same. But so many more mountain bikes are sold than motocross bikes, I think. But yeah, Supercross is, I think it's $100,000 for a win, I think. And then we're at €3,750. I mean, it's wild. But anyway, I know I've not really taken a hard stance. Again, if push comes to shove and I want to watch the races next year, I will pay, because I think I want to support the sport. I want to support my friends, the athletes. And ultimately, I do want to see the sport do better. Now, boycotting it and not paying, does that help anybody? I don't know. Do the people higher above, are they going, oh no, all these people aren't paying? Or do they just think, well, let's just put no effort into this sport, let it dwindle away, which is a shame, because they've got the license to do it, or whatever it is, the contract to do it for many, many more years. So yeah, I think we're at a crossroads at the moment with downhill, to be honest. I think it's quite a strange time, and I'd be very interested to hear your guys' thoughts on it below. I know, again, I've not taken a hard stance, but yeah, I just want to see everyone get paid and the sport be successful. I want to feel like it used to feel, where you were excited to tune in. You couldn't wait for the races. The races were amazing. The commentary was great. The insights were great. All of it was just such a fantastic production, and the sport, in my opinion, was going in the perfect, correct direction for the sort of sport it is. It's not Formula One. We're not Formula One. We're not Tour de France. We're downhill mountain biking. It's a core renegade sport, and I personally wanted to see it stay like that, but just a bit more elevated. Okay, so just have a sip of fuel. Okay, I've kind of enjoyed doing this. I don't know how long we've been going, probably way too long. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, we're an hour in. So I thought we'd do some questions, if that's okay. Let's do like 10 minutes of questions, and then we'll wrap this up, and that will be first ever live stream episode. So what we got, use the chat function, please. Now, if you've got any questions, please put them there. I did put a thing up on Instagram, so I'll have a look at that right now and see what we've got. Let's see if we've got anything cool to talk about. I've got a few things as well that I can mention. So, WhatsApp group, what an idiot. I knew it. I knew I'd screw something up. Broadcast channel on Instagram. Brooker MTB. Freedom Ride 2025. Okay. Freedom Ride 2025. Freedom Ride is one of the things I am most proud about in my life. Genuinely. That event, especially the last one in 2023, couldn't have gone any better. It was everything that I wanted it to be when the idea first came up. We had free drinks, free beers, great food, good people, sponsors there, weather was primo. It just couldn't have gone any better. And I know we've spoke about this a little bit on the show every now and again, but the reason we haven't done another Freedom Ride is because that one was too good. We needed to pay more to be there. And it would have just been, it would basically have felt like charging more money to people coming for a worse product. That being said, we will be doing a ride day on July the 4th, which is a Friday. And again, there'll be an official announcement, but hey, we're here, we're doing this, we're having some fun. So yeah, there will be a ride day on Friday the 4th of July at Bike Park Wales, which will be a full day of riding. We'll get some of our sponsors there or whatever, and we're also going to hopefully do a live show, better than this, in the evening as well. So there you go. You heard it here first. July the 4th. If you want to book it off your calendars, you probably can, because I'm 99.9% sure that we'll be doing it. Okay, what else we got? Sandra Bikes on the broadcast group. Are you going to be going to any events this year in your van? Hardline, question mark. I feel like I'm teeing these questions up myself, but I'm actually not, I promise. Okay. Yes, this is actually sick. Okay. Yes, we're going to be at Hardline in 2025, and we will have a studio at Hardline for 2025. We're going to build a studio there with Red Bull, and we're going to do some episodes from Red Bull Hardline. We're also going to be doing a daily vlog, which will take you behind the scenes of Hardline, track walk, speaking to athletes, following an athlete for a day, all that good stuff. And then some of our regular episodes as well will be coming from Red Bull Hardline. So yeah, super stoked. There's going to be, there'll be a proper announcement. But yeah, going to be doing that. So that's going to be sick. 7 Carl Brooks 7. If you were going to start a ride companion World Cup team with no budget, who would be your riders and sponsors? We need to see the Froob sleeve. Okay, that's a throwback, but good. Okay, I've got to build a team with no budget. Almost impossible, let's be honest. But let's say I could have any rider. I'd honestly take bias. I'd go Preston Williams. Yes, he's been on the podcast. Yes, he's a bit of a friend. But there is so much potential that you could get out of Preston. And it's such a shame that I guess Preston won't be racing World Cups because of the team thing and points and stuff like that. But Preston Williams, there's so much potential with him, not just in mountain biking, but we could make moto content. And he's just such a marketable character that I would, 100%, I'd take Preston Williams. We've been looking at sponsoring Preston properly for a few years. It's never really worked out. I don't really know why, but we haven't managed to pull it off. So yeah, I'd go Preston Williams. I'm also going to take a hard stance on something that's worth talking about. Lackey Stevens McNabb will win a World Cup in 2025. You heard it here first. Next up, what we got. I did put an Instagram story up. Here it is, 23 hours old, so there could be a few there. Here we go. We've got Lewis Craik. Where's Olly? That would make a great podcast name. Yes, it would. And we did try, and it was a nightmare. Olly's in Mexico building the Serra Bio course. He's back at the end of March, and then we will be moving into our new studio the start of April. And we have some pretty good guests lined up for April already as well, along with a round table with myself, Olly, Deeks, and Jono. So that'll be super fun. Charlie Wilson, which World Cup are you most excited for this season and why? Plus a prediction to win. World Cup I'm most excited about has to be Poland. It has to be Poland. First one. Last year I did say it was going to be crap. I don't know if that was on episodes, but I did say it was going to be crap. I'm really excited for Poland. I think it's going to be great. I think it was a rad track last year. The riders all loved it. It was taped wide. It had everything that a course should need. And I also think, going off my last comment, Lackey Stevens McNabb will win that race. You heard it here first. Aaron Planky, first key steps for starting a brand. What stuff to not worry about until later down the road? Wow, business question. Love it. Okay, starting a brand. I think a lot of people, and there's no shade here, because if it's what you want to do, it's great. Basically start an Instagram page and go, oh, I've got a business. I think when you're starting a brand, you've got to hammer down on product. You've got to have a good product. And so many people overlook that because it's easier these days as well just to be like, oh, I'm just going to put this logo on this t-shirt. But I think you've really got to hammer down on the product. Get that like super dialed of the product or whatever it is that you're working on, and then go from there. Things like Instagram are just, they're a great way to market, but it's not a business. Get it set up as an actual business. Like register it, trademark it if you can. Really go from there. But yeah, I know that's probably bad advice. But yeah, that's something that I wouldn't worry about until later down the road. It'd be Instagram or sponsoring people. Like, no, just get a good product. And if you build it, they will come. Jacob.Cox. Did you ever swap those pants? I've dug out a slow cooker if you're keen. Now, I'm glad someone's brought this up because I'm not mad. I'm just really disappointed. I thought the swap shop was a great idea, but yeah, okay. And I know when we did the swap shop, when we introduced it, we haven't recorded since, and I was kind of expecting there to be a bit of a bigger uptake, but we still got them. We still got sax signed by Jackson, Greg Minar, and Loza. And I honestly thought we'd get so many people. It's like, oh yeah, I got this thing. I want to swap for them. So the idea was basically offer us something, we'll swap them, and then at the end of the year we'll see where we get, and we'll just keep swapping things as we go. And genuinely, the first thing someone offered was a homemade Lego Death Star, and I saw that come through, and I just like, come on. It's like 90. I think someone also offered some worn out 510s. So I think the swap shop idea just didn't hit. People were just like, meh, I'm not interested in the pants signed by athletes. So yeah, maybe we try again, maybe we don't. I don't know. I thought the swap shop idea was so good. I love things like that you can sink your teeth into. It's a bit of a storyline that goes somewhere further down the line, but we'll see. Maybe someone will offer us something cool. I mean, we just got offered a slow cooker. So, yeah. Could do that, couldn't we? Anyway, Leela also asked on Instagram, is there any thoughts on a meet up? So I've just mentioned that as well. Fingers crossed we're going to be doing one. Bipop Wales, July the 4th. We'll do a whole day. So that, I think, has been okay. I think it's been good. I've enjoyed it. I've not been as nervous to do anything as much as this for a long time. It felt really weird. I'm just in this room. There's no one in the house. I've got a light there, like a GoPro. If you did enjoy this, I'd be keen to know. We could do it more often. It'd be pretty cool. I can just get a bit of a better setup. Maybe up the production a little bit, because that's what I like doing. But yeah, obviously this room isn't decorated yet either, so maybe we can get some stuff on the walls and build it into a bit more of a thing. But it is kind of cool to be able to just go live and talk about things and have a discussion and use the chat function. So maybe it's going to happen more often. I don't know. I didn't know what to call it. You might have noticed, so I went with MTB News. MTB News Live. I just thought it was like a hilarious, corny, funny name to call something. So we might just roll with that for these sort of special ones every now and again. MTB News Live. But ultimately, we got some massive episodes coming up. Hopefully in April, we're going to be back into a bit of a routine. It's been a weird month. It's been a weird year so far. We lost our dog. Olly's been on holiday. He's had all sorts of other stuff going on in his personal life. I've been on holiday. He's been out building tracks, doing trips, and we've just not hit a stride yet, I don't think. We've had some banger episodes. Tarney, Reese, the other ones, I'm sure that I can't remember what we've done. John O'Jones at the start of the year. Like, we've had a great start to the year, but it just doesn't feel for me like we're just in our stride yet. We're not quite rolling. And I think moving into this new studio in April, so that's a bit more of a setup that we can just drop in and drop out of, is going to be really helpful. It's costing astronomical amounts of money, but we're here to invest in it and we're here to do it. And we've been doing this thing for 9 years. I also wanted to mention that I did an episode of a podcast called Fit Dads Podcast yesterday. A guy called Brad, who I actually met through a friend who's a personal trainer. Him and his friend Ryan have got this podcast called Fit Dads Podcast. They're both personal trainers and they just talk about anything and everything. I did that the other day, and it's going to be out on Friday. And genuinely, I think it's quite good. They just wanted to talk about the podcast, really, like the growth of it, how we've made it into a business. And if you're interested in any of that stuff, and also a bit more of my background, then that'll be out on Friday. I'll share all the links. That'll be pretty cool if you want to check it out. We're working on some new merch, so that should be out pretty soon. I was going to show you a sample, but I'll hold on to it for now. So working on some new merch. Again, we've not done a merch drop for ages, but again, that's something that we've just been too busy to do. It's great being busy, but it's also bad for your to-do list. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. If you have enjoyed this, please reach out, let me know, because I don't know if it's been good or bad. I've enjoyed doing it. I've got it's felt a little bit easier now, or a little bit, rolling a little bit. I could sit and do this for a long time, but I'm not going to. I'll not bore you to death. So if you have enjoyed it, please do let me know, either on Instagram or on YouTube or in the comments section or wherever is easiest for you. And that's it, and that's that. Massive thank you to everyone for your continued support. Again, it feels weird doing this in this room, but hopefully you have found some sort of enjoyment from it. So yeah, that's it, and that's that. Thanks again. Hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment. Big shout out to the sponsors, Huel, OneSkin. We're just going to start working with GoPro. We got a GoPro offer code soon. We got a Trolley offer code soon as well. Melon offer code soon as well. So yeah, we got some things rolling here behind the scenes, and I hope you all have a great rest of your week, a great weekend, whatever, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace and love. Like and subscribe. Big up. You.